Hey everybody, this is Will Martel here, and I just wanted to do this welcome video to welcome to Dragon Whip Entertainment. Now, years ago, I had come up with a concept. I think I was in my 20s to do a film production company because everybody and their mama, does a film production company. But only one man had built a full-fledged working studio, a full-fledged working motion picture studio, not a company, not a film production company, and that was respectively the great Tyler Perry. And Tyler Perry did it all outside of the quote unquote Hollywood system. He went against the grain. He did something that they did back in black films a long time ago, because the history was with segregation and all that. Black people couldn't go into the movie theaters with white audiences. So eventually they had black people go to the balcony and stuff like that to watch a film and whatnot. But we weren't allowed, and there were very few black individuals that were allowed to act in white films unless they were stereotyped and put in certain roles as maids and butlers and slaves and such things. That the directors that wanted to direct film, black directors back a long time ago, and there were very, very few of them, wanted to basically direct their own films and cater it to their own audiences, black people, which this was called the Chitlin Circuit. The Chitlin Circuit basically entailed, it was an all black audience, and that fan base was built, and these films were seen. So Tyler Perry took that concept and actually made a series of plays, eventually morphing into motion picture. And he said, okay, if I could do plays and have them successful on this Chitlin circuit, okay, well, all right, maybe I can do some motion pictures and things like that and do the same thing. Well, what had happened was he did the motion pictures, but they weren't being accepted. And he literally had to sell them out of the first movie that he did. Admittedly, he had to sell copies of this film out of his car, and he shopped it around to Hollywood, but every door they were slamming in his face saying you couldn't mention things like God and religion in the movie, and in the movies that they were doing and things like that. So what ended up happening was Lionsgate actually gave him an opportunity, and he had a relationship with him, and I think it still stands till this very day. I think he's doing something with Viacom now and HBO and such things. But Tyler Perry, to me, is a blueprint. He's a blueprint for me to what I'm attempting to do now. And I had gone down to Tyler Perry Studios back in, I believe that was 2008, 2009 or something like that, for an audition for House of Pain, I believe it was. And I guess it was going to be a guest spot where I was supposed to do this Dr. Phil sort of clinical psychologist thing or something. But anyhow, I had gone down there to his first studio, which was across from, I believe it was Evander Holyfield's estate. It was across the street from him, and it was in back of this mall or something like that. But I was totally mesmerized by just everything that was going on in that place. And I said, man, someday I want to do this same thing. I want to do this. This is my destiny. I am not here standing in this thing for no unparticular reason. There's a reason why I'm here and why I was supposed to see this. So I really, really feel that if you have a goal and you have a dream, you have to plant a seed in order to accomplish it. So right now, my goal is in the next few years is to have right here in Dubuque, Iowa, where there was a very, very large history of racism and bigotry and hate, to have the first working motion picture studio right here in Dubuque, Iowa. That is the goal. I am serious as a heart attack about doing that. And people might be saying, oh, Will, how are you going to do that? That's impossible. No, nothing is impossible. If you believe in it, nothing is impossible. If you believe that it'll happen, it'll happen. It's like everybody has a purpose for their life. I don't believe as a little kid, my mom taking me to see martial arts movies, Bruce Lee and the great late Jim Kelly and all of these films that were going on, the black exploitation films. I'm a big fan of those because those were the first films that I had seen where there was a black hero, somebody that looked like me. The Jim Browns, the Richard Roundtrees, the Jim Kellys, the Fred Williamsons, the Pam Greers. Those people looked like me, and I was able to identify with those. I mean, some of the language, when I was a kid, some of the language was bad, and stuff like that. And some of these movies might be considered really bad. But when I go back and look at it and things like that, those movies really set the tone of what I'm trying to do with Dragon Whip Entertainment right now. And a long time ago, when I was in my 20s, I actually wanted to write a movie called Prelude to Obsession, and I was going to co-write it with my high school buddy, somebody that I call my brother, Eddie. We've known each other for so long and stuff like that. And then some things happened, and New Line Cinema decided that they were going to go another way, and we were going to get $8 million, I believe, to do this film had the script been completed. And it, they just decided to go another way with it, and they ended up doing a movie with somebody named Vasquez, and it was called Hanging with the Homeboys, who I happen to like that film, Hanging with the Homeboys. If you ever get a chance, check that movie out. It's a really, really good film. John Leguizamo's in it. Nestor Serrano's in it. Dougie Doug's in it. And I think Joyner. I can't think of his first name. Joyner. He was a comedian. But it's a really, really good film. And I kind of felt like, sometimes you don't make it when you want to, and you have to learn. You have to learn and keep learning and keep learning. And that's all I've done over the period of years being an actor, being, someone that now has learned film directing as well. I went to the Harold Ramis film school and whatnot, which I don't believe anybody has to go to film school. To me, it was just a brush-up course. But see, the bottom line of this video was to welcome each and every person to this channel. And coming up soon on this channel, I will be releasing a movie called Discarded, which is a film that I came up with while I was at work one day because I needed something to shoot. Because I was shooting this movie here in Dubuque called Till We Meet Again. It was kind of my Woody Allen nod type of short. And then that went south because the weather started getting bad, and then there was scheduling problems and things like that. And then that kind of went to the wayside, and I decided, well, what is it that I can do to get something on the reel? And one night while I was working, it just came to me. And this will actually dive into some personal experiences that I had had. And I said, what if I shot a film alone where it was one man in his own fortress of solitude, if you want to call it that, that had to deal with not only a breakup, but dealing with a narcissistic person, because I had read up a lot on narcissism, and I had done a ton of videos on my other channel, Aspire to Inspire, on narcissism and, you know, the things to watch out for with it. It's like a growing epidemic for some reason, and it seems to be growing more every day. But this is what the basis of this film, Discarded, is all about. It is about a man that has to deal with this breakup, deal with his demons, so to speak, and he has to face the ultimate enemy, and that's the enemy from within. That's himself. And he has this internal battle with himself, whether or not he wants to continue and try to move on from being suddenly discarded and dumped and things like that, to, you know, trying to better his life. And this conscience, I play a dual role in this. So this conscience is basically a Bobby Knight, you know, someone who's the negative motivator, someone who, for all intents and purposes, you know, is a real a-hole. And he's trying to get this guy to pick up the pieces and move on. But I just shot the final scene for Discarded, and I had some help, and I wanted to go publicly and thank her, and that is Mary Chase and whatnot. She really, really helped me with this. She was providing the prop that I needed for this to shoot this final scene, because I ran around and I was looking around online to get this thing, and I couldn't find it, and she happened to be there, and she is such an angel. So thank you, Mary Chase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't thank you enough for helping me out with that, and just among a lot of other things too. And it, you know, it really solidified to me that you can't really do a whole lot of things alone either. If you need help, ask for help, you know. And I didn't really ask for help. She offered, and I was like, all right, you know. So I had to be open to that stuff, because for a long time I wasn't open to that, you know, accepting help. I wanted to do this on my own, but you can't, you know, really do it on your own. So one night I decided that I was going to shoot this film, and I shot it, and I had been shooting this thing since November, I guess November 11th, and it's been quite a journey, actually. So basically, I had shot some footage for my other film before, you know, the weather started getting bad, and then scheduling conflicts and things like that. So I decided that, wow, I got enough to actually make a film with this. So pretty soon I'm going to release it on this channel, and I'm going to see, you know, let you guys see what you think of it. But it does have subject matter. It is dealing with narcissism. It is dealing with a lot of things that we all face and we all go through. So I'm going to wrap this up by saying, I just wanted to come on here and just do this welcome video and things like that. and welcome to my channel, and like, comment, subscribe, and and things like that, and keep supporting the indie filmmakers, because right now Hollywood has a lack of stories. They have a lack of originality. They are doing remakes. They're doing continuations of franchises. They are trying to resurrect franchises and things like that for today's moviegoer and today's generation. And people like me that is a big fan of movies, I like original stuff. I love the first Rocky. I love the first Rambo movie. I love the first Creed movie. And it just, right now, it just seems like there's a lack of originality. So now we have an open forum to kind of shoot our own stuff. The technology we have today is amazing. We could shoot. We can direct. We can do things that when I was coming up and aspired to do movies and everything like that, and write scripts and shoot my own scripts and stuff like that, you had to go through a studio. Had I had the technology years ago that we have now and whatnot, I would have made probably 20 or 30 motion pictures already. I mean, or more. I mean, this thing that just started, this revolution, I mean, there are people that's been doing it for years and could not get over. But now you can shoot things on an iPhone. You can get attachments and stuff like that, and make a multi-million-dollar film from your phone, the comfort of your phone. So anyhow, I didn't want to go into a rant, but otherwise, okay, I'm going to wrap this up by saying, keep going for it. Don't ever give up. Keep dreaming, and don't let anyone stand in your way of what the great Lord God, the universe, wants you to do, because he would not instill these ideas in you if it was not meant for you to do what you want to do with your life. All right, this is Will Martel saying so long. Keep supporting this channel, and remember, every day above ground is a good day. Deuces.